A's Extra.
Welcome back on the Anglers Extra pregame show. It's time for game number 13 ahead of Chatham and Falmouth from Gov Fuller Field. It's time for the Manager's Show. With Chatham manager Dennis Cook, I'm Jake Klein. Dennis, you got the 2-1 fog-shortened win over Brewster last night at Veterans Field. Did you miss the fog?
No, didn't miss the fog. Just thankful we were on top whenever they called the game. We've been on the other side of that before, and it's not fun. But, thankful. We'll take the wins any way we can get them. But, of course, you would rather play 9. That way we can get all our pitching and stuff in. But we'll make adjustments today.
When the fog starts to settle in over Veterans Field, how does your approach change to managing the game?
Really doesn't change. It doesn't change. We just keep playing baseball until he tells us to stop.
So there was no extra effort to get that top of the 5th inning in before the game got called?
Well, obviously we wanted to get it in. We knew it was getting close to being called. And JT was just dealing all day. So, we're not going to pull him out of the game by any means. And, thankful he was able to strike a few guys out and not give up a fly ball right there.
What were the conversations like between yourself, the umpires, and Jamie Shevchuk?
Really not. They didn't say a whole lot. They just said we're going to wait 30 minutes, and if it doesn't clear up, we're going to call the game.
You mentioned JT Quinn's phenomenal outing, racked up a bunch more strikeouts over his 5 innings in his final Cape League start. What were your impressions of his time in Chatham?
Man, he did himself a lot of good in the draft by coming here. He's going to we were talking about him on the way over here in the truck. I just don't know what else you could look for in a guy, in the starting pitcher. He mixes well. He commands his breaking ball. He commands the fastball. And he throws 96 miles an hour. So what's there not to like about that?
On the offensive end, you got that 2-run double early from Jackson Freeman. He's got hits in 4 of his last 5 at-bats. What do you like about him?
I think he's a little bit of a streaky hitter. I know he can hit, but he's on a good streak right now. Let's just keep riding it.
As JT Quinn departs, you also add Ashton Larson and Cade Arambidi from LSU. You've got Larson in the lineup tonight. When you have an offense that's clicking the way this one has, how do you go about inserting someone new in there?
Well, the lineup is exactly the same. We just put Ashton in the DH spot today, so give Noah a day off. So that's really the only change.
Chatting with Dennis Cook on the Manager's Show before the A's visit Falmouth in Game 13 of the Cape League season. Dennis, what does Ashton Larson bring to your lineup?
Well, he was an all-star here last year. He didn't get as many at-bats as he wanted to at LSU this year, so hopefully he's not too rusty. He'll come in and give us some good at-bats and pick up where he left off last year in the Cape.
How much do you factor in a player's Cape League experience in recruiting?
It's hard to say no to a kid that made the all-star team the year before. So he knows what he's getting himself into, and he comes up here. He's knows the pitching, knows the wood bat. So we'll see what happens.
Meanwhile, Aaron Beatty joins Chase Fralick, Daniel Jackson, Noah Miller as players on your roster who can catch. How does his arrival change the catching situation on this team?
He'll catch. He's going to catch. He's obviously a very talented kid. Throws real well. Watch his BP. He's got a lot of power, and I think he's supposed to be their guy next year, so this will do him a lot of good catching up here and getting a little more experience. So I think he's going to be phenomenal for us.
There's Dennis Cook on the Manager's Show before the A's visit the Falmouth Commodores. Dennis, thanks for the time.
Thank you.